Mhm.
Right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Soshing with Suntwe. Just give us a second. We're going to do our shares as normal. If you would do the same, that would be great. Just go to the page, go to the bottom of the video, share it to your profile, share it to whoever else you think might be interested. And when you click on, drop us a comment, tell us where you're from. Let us see where you're engaging from. I see we've got one person picked up on the feed so far. So whoever that is, say hello while we're busy doing the shares. Just give us a minute to do that, and then we'll get right into it. So I'm busy trying to do it on my phone here, over there. Get this done. Come on. We were having a few technical difficulties earlier, but we seem to have figured it all out. So that's great.
Awesome.
Share there, and there, and there, and there. Great. So, today we're joined by Sisa Mthunzi. He's a pro guide from Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. Are you from Victoria Falls or are you from Bulawayo?
Born and bred in Bulawayo, but I can pretty much say 15 plus years in Victoria Falls. I'm now a bona fide res.
For sure. You've been in Vic Falls much longer than I spent in Vic Falls. I was only there for 6 years or 7 years or something.
Like man.
So you're a proper born and bred, dyed in the wool Victoria Falls boy now.
I'm now pretty much a Vic Falls resident as they came.
That's awesome. And so tell us a little bit about your background. You said you're born and bred in Bulawayo. Went to school in Bulawayo?
I did my primary school in Bulawayo. That's pretty much grade 1 to 7.
Okay.
Pretty much Bulawayo. Then we came to Victoria Falls to do my secondary school, the high school part. And that's pretty much my early life.
So whereabouts did you go to high school?
I actually went to the Smoke That Thunders, Monsieur Tunya High School.
Cool. So that's so tell us what led you to guiding and how you got the passion for it, how you sort of chose that path, and what you did to get there, and give us a bit of a breakdown on your journey.
All right, I still remember as a young boy.
And what you did to get there, and give us a bit of a breakdown.
All right, guiding is pretty much something that's inborn. Before guiding, I'm very much in touch with nature. I still remember as a kid who would spend the holidays in the village in Gwanda. I'm sure you'd know where I'm talking about. Down in Skodini areas, I would definitely make it a point that at least once or twice a year during the school holidays, I'll go down to Gwanda. And I still remember back in those days, we would have all these wild animals, the hares and all that. I was just thrilled to see something out of the norm. We had goats, we had cows, but the little duikers, the little impala type of antelopes, it just fascinated me, seeing the birds, the colors. There was just me and nature were like that from an early stage. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So when you left school, did you get straight into starting your apprenticeship as guiding, or did you do something else first?
I did 3 years. After school, I did 3 years in the hotel industry where I trained. Pretty much I was pursuing a career as a professional chef because, after high school, you just wanted to venture into something. Tourism was kind of like something that was in my blood. But although my dad, who was a Metro D at Ilala Lodge, had said or spoken to us like career guidance. Okay, young boys, me and my brother were siblings. We are 2 years apart. He said, young boys, I would like you to do something else other than tourism or hospitality. Just try something. Yeah. He wanted us to be in accounts, do something clerical or something like that. But what? So much for the advice that he gave me. I'm a people's person, and nature is something that I grew with. I wanted to go out there and just talk about it, share it with the people that don't come from close by. So that's how I thought of guiding. But I trained in the kitchen pretty much 3
Oh, right.
long Victoria Falls Safari Lodge.
Well,
I
so
washed dishes. I learned
so
how to. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, being trained in some form of kitchen type stuff is very good for your guiding, though. Surely that has a good transfer of skills to your guiding skill set.
Very much, very much. Although I never saw it that way back in those days, I thought it was just a leverage, a ladder, like a step
Mm,
going towards my dream, because it was what was available at that
yeah.
time. I had to do something. Yeah.
So, how far did you get into the chefing or the cooking side of things?
I didn't go far as academics is concerned. I only pushed learning how to, spices and preparation of food. And I still bake for my kids right now during lockdown. They've been
That's
enjoying
great.
muffins, rolls, and what. And in the bush, I do a lot of cooking. A lot of
Yeah.
groups that I take out into the bush. I did a lot of overlanding back in the days.
Mhm.
I would cook for them, and I'm like, okay, so this is coming in handy. But I never saw it as that at that point. I just thought, let me do this and earn a little amount, save so that I can study and do my guiding course. So it was just like a leverage to me.
So when you did your guiding, did you do it completely solo? There's a lot of people, like we've got in the comments already, we've got Nicola from the UK, we've got Christine from Essex, Donna Tipler, she's from Bulawayo, so she's saying hi Sisa, nice to see you guys, that's cool.
Hi.
Quite a few people that might be international that will watch, so they won't understand or know how the guiding course is set up in Zimbabwe, what you have to go through, how you get into it. Can you give them a bit of details of how you go about becoming a guide?
Right. You first of all have to maybe enroll in a college and learn the theory aspect of it, which is basically 4 subjects. That is law, there's habit and habitats, which encompasses nature, animals, insects, and whatnot. Anything that's peculiar, that's natural, that breeds life, even plants. We also have Firearms Act, which basically talks about the role of firearms. Because remember, when you're guiding or you're doing hunting, we pretty much are trained the same up until when you go through apprenticeship. You then choose which role you want to take. Oh, sorry, I got somebody joining me there. I have a little 6-month-old. She just wanted to feature. I said, no, just a moment. So yeah,
no problem.
she wanted to say hi to everybody later. So yeah, you do the 4 subjects. The other one is general paper. So I said law. There is habit and habitats, which is the natural aspect. You've got Firearms Act. So you get to learn the laws that govern the firearms, the handling, how to own one, import, and all that, how you bring a firearm into the country. So just a little hello, and then she'll be gone. Hi, Paul. How are you? You know the older one. This is the new one, eh?
Yes.
All right. Okay, Kylie. I'll see you, Chloe. Take care.
I've got a photo of me holding your older girl somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember she talks a lot when she sees Bear Grylls. She says you guys look alike. Sorry, I didn't say that. She says so when I watch a lot of Bear Grylls. Says, this guy looks like Paul Teasdale. He calls you name and so yeah. Okay, so yeah, so you do that after you pass the theory part. You have to get attached to a professional guide or professional hunter. So depending on which part of the course you're taking, you want to be on the consumptive or photographic. So photographic being professional guiding, then you get acquainted to a tutor. And that tutor pretty much will teach you bushcraft. You log in hours walking in the bush. You learn how to use your rifle handling, pretty much putting in the magazine, getting the ammo out and putting it back in, safety catch. You go out and you do target shooting, and all that you're doing, you're logging it in. And you're supposed to be under apprenticeship at least a minimum of 2 years going upwards. The more time you spend in the bush, it becomes a part of you. And thereafter, you go for your final exams where you'll be examined, you set up camp, you're put into groups, and you get an examiner, you get asked questions based on your camp, you set up of the camp, based on your bush knowledge, your natural knowledge, everything. I mean, hence they say the Zimbabwe license of guiding is the highest as far as Africa is concerned. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. And a lot of people that even are guides today are still in the process of going towards attaining the full guide license, which is not easy, but it can be a lifetime achievement. Some, it's easy like that. Maybe you're born in the village, you only just translate everything to English and you go out there and you just do it like that. But it's all different, where your background also comes into effect in the whole process. So I would say, yeah.
Did you find you had any barriers to entry to get into guiding, or you found it was quite a smooth thing for you, just putting in the work and able to do it, or was it quite tough to get a mentor, quite tough to get going?
You know, you can never say it. You can never say you've achieved or you've reached the end, eh? The guiding is every day is a learning phase. You always have to have your receptors open to learn something new. Absolutely. You find that even if you go to proficiency and you are fully qualified or you're still learning, you all go out into the bush and learn about the same birds that you know. You just want to get well acquainted. There's something new. There's something interesting. So I don't think it was a smooth sail, and I can't say you can. There's a destination. It's a process. The lifelong, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a lifelong kind of
example of that in a human that I know is one of my great mentors and someone that I really look up to is Dean McGregor. And every time I've worked with Dean on survival courses and that sort of thing, whenever he has downtime where he's not actually working, where I might be with the clients doing something else, you can find him in his tent reading about grasses and seeds, words, and he is constantly studying. It never stops.
That is so true. Yeah, you never stop learning. You never
stop learning. A comment here from Nicola from the UK. She said she so wants to go on a guiding survival tour as soon as lockdown lifts. Been one of those bucket list adventures, especially in your area. This is super interesting, guys. So we'll have to put her in touch with you, and we'll put contact details at the end. So that we can organize some tours for people. So who was your mentor in your guiding then?
You know what? I can say I can't mention one person, but I've been privileged to have had a lot of great mentors that have come into my life, some and exited as well. I've had a lot, I can mention but a few. There's one guy that still mentors me even up to this day. And I look up to him so much as far as guiding industry is concerned. And that's none other than Louis Mangaba. You know,
what a man. I love that man.
He's a great mentor. I like his approach to life. He's down to earth and grounded. There's a lot that you can, exude out of his presence. The aura of him is just magnificent.
He's one of those people where positivity just flows from him, doesn't it?
Exactly. You've just put it right. He's very positive.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. I wish I could have spent more time with him in Zim when I was still there. But maybe it's, we're not dead yet. There's still time.
There's still hope. There's still a chance, man.
So currently, are you, well, not currently, but in general, are you freelancing or are you attached to a specific outfit at the moment?
Paul, you know what? I spent the better part of the last 6 years working for overseas adventure travel. That's more adventure travel, literally bleeding. That I can say that was my life, because pretty much from January to December, I was engrossed. I was, out there at work, 6 days at home, and I'm back out for 21 days, all the flying trips. At the moment, but I've since stopped working with overseas adventure travel, and I do freelance with an American outfit. I'm sure some of you guys listening would know, Road Scholar, which is Elder Hostel, as it was known back in the day. I freelance with those pretty much when I'm not doing my own private guided experience, which with Excellence Trail Safaris, a company which I started a couple of years back. I think 4 years to be precise. So
That's
if I'm not Excellence Trail Safari.
Do you have a website for Excellence Trails?
Yes, we do. Excellencetrails.com will take you straight through to my website.
Excellencetrails.com. Okay, cool. So I've put that in the comments for anyone that's interested. There it is. Oh, I've spelled it wrong.
Excellence Trails Safaris.
I spelled it wrong.
Okay, for a more personalized tour.
Let me rewrite it. Excellence trails.com. That should be correct now. Just check it for me. Is that correct?
Excellencetrails.com. That's it.
Right. So if anybody's interested, you can go to excellencetrails.com, and that's Sisa's own company that he started for private bespoke guiding tours. But on top of that, you've also started your own little B&B, I hear.
Yeah, I should be opening as soon as the lockdown is finished or it's done with. The place, I've been, Paul, I didn't see any lockdown. I was working, designing, and I think I'll be unveiling it maybe in the next 7 days.
Oh, really? So you spent the entire lockdown productively?
Yeah. Come again?
So you've spent the entire lockdown productively working on creating something for your business.
The garden, everything. Just a moment, I'm getting my charger on. We had no power earlier. Sort it out nicely, Chloe.
For those of you who don't come from Zimbabwe, this is a common thing where electricity just switches off every now and then. And you can be without electricity for 18 hours a day at some stages, and depending on what part of the country you're in. So as Sisa was just saying, he's had no electricity earlier. But luckily we have the power and the electricity to do this broadcast right now. And luckily the internet's working and everything seems to be in order. So while he's busy putting his charger in, just wanted to say, if you're still watching, if you haven't already, please drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from so that we can see what kind of spread we've got, and say hi to the others. And yeah, thank you for being here. It's always great when we've got some viewers. And if you like what you're seeing, feel free to tag some people in the comments, bring them in to watch. If you find it interesting, share. I do this once a week, so every Wednesday, same time, I do a live broadcast, and every Wednesday there's a different guest. Although I'm quite keen to get some of the old guests back again because some of we didn't finish everything we wanted to cover. And if you know of anyone that you think would be a good guest, or if you think you would be a good guest and want to come and chat to me about something, it can be any topic. It can be a general broad topic that we can just chat around and talk around and take comments from. Then let's do it. I'm happy days. Anyway, the man is back. Where were we?
I'm back. We were talking about the B&B.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I was saying that you were very productive over lockdown, and you have been working on your business, really. So did you have this B&B ambition for a while, or is it something that you've come up with now, or have certain opportunities opened recently that made you go in this direction?
Paul, for the past 4 years, since I opened Excellence Trail Safaris, I've always been saying to myself, every year I need to set a goal that I can achieve. I don't want to enjoy the glory of the yesteryear, like I do so well in 1 year and then I'm in 2019, and I don't want to enjoy, the spoils of 2018. So 2020 comes, I said, what am I going to set up? I always like to set mammoth goals, something that's like big, hairy, audacious, and push myself a little bit over the edge, because it's easy to be comfortable, especially in a country like Zimbabwe. You work so hard, you think you've saved a little, and you want to just relax. And I'm only 34 years old, I want to push myself. By the time I'm 40, I want to look back and say, this is the foundation I've set. And this is the tone that you guys can take over and run with. But for the meantime, until 40, I'm going to work myself out and establish the dream that I've had. Okay, going back to the BNB, have I always had the goal? Just a moment, Chloe. Take it.
Full-time businessman, full-time father, full-time guy.
You know, oh, I'm trying. All right, so the dream of the BNB came about as I was traveling in Cape Town. You know, we used to have what we call the home hosted dinners in a place called Michel's Plain in Grassy Park when I was still working for Overseas Adventure Travel. And I remember it was the second night of our arrival. So to get to Cape Town at 9 p.m., check in and the guests would relax. And the next day we have all the tours. But that evening we're not eating dinner in the hotel. We'd go and have dinner out in the medium density. You could explain to the greater audience what medium density is, something between the projects and the suburbs, right? Have I said it nicely?
Yeah, yeah. So not high density, not low density, but
exactly. So I mean, I saw the awe and the grandeur, the exuberance of my clients at the experience was just amazing. And I say to myself, I'm coming from Victoria Falls, great place, lovely hotels and lodges and all. But you know what? We're lacking something. We're lacking something authentic and nice that is in the township where we live. I live in the township. But we didn't have the infrastructure to host clients to come and enjoy being in the township. So I say to myself, when I start working for myself, let me do this. This is something that's lacking in the industry. I don't want to compete with the great giants. How about I start and invent something on my own? So I came up with the township bed and breakfast concept. And I'm saying, this is, I feel and believe I'm going to host people and give them a great 5-star experience in the township. So that's how it was birthed.
So is your B&B, are you resident in the same place, or is it a separate facility to where you live?
Actually, I don't stay by the B&B, although the theme of the place, you'd feel like I live there. I'm just giving something, yeah. Because on the walls, you see the pictures, you feel like it's called Mthunzi residence. You feel like we've just let the place for you to come and enjoy and the warmth while we are staying elsewhere. But the other thing is, I learned the theming in the United States when I worked for Walt Disney World. I saw that a lot of their parks and everything had a theme. And I felt, how about let me theme this Mthunzi residence? Come and stay in the warmth and comfort of Mthunzis. You know, I have my daughters and all, so it's on the wall. You feel like we are there, or you've just gone on a holiday. So I themed it under my family umbrella. So yeah.
So you're going, because you're talking about the family and your name and everything. Your full name is Sisa Mthunzi, yeah?
Yes, you said it nicely.
And can you tell everybody what that means?
Sisa Mthunzi means the grace of God.
Beautiful name, isn't it?
Yeah, my father gave it to me, and obviously with my mom's assurance, and she agreed to it. So yeah, grace. Don't call me Grace though. Grace is what grace of God.
Cool. Okay, that's wonderful. So your place is in Nkosana.
My place is in Nkosana, yeah.
And where you live, is it also in Nkosana?
I also live in Nkosana.
Okay.
I also live in Nkosana, yeah. The place is it's a new area, a stretch of Nkosana, like an extension. It's a new area in Nkosana, and then I live in the old area of Nkosana.
Okay, cool. So is it off Kaz Road then?
It's actually off Main Bulawayo Road.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I know. I think I know exactly where the new tar road was made in Nkosana.
Exactly.
That goes parallel with the Bulawayo Road.
That goes parallel with the Bulawayo Road, yeah.
Okay, and because there's also another lady who started a township themed restaurant recently.
Yeah. I know.
Is that in Chinotim?
That's in Chinotimber.
Okay, so there's definitely a great I think it's a great idea because what I had my own small B&B Airbnb business when I was in Vic Falls, and in very small. I had 2 rooms, and it was really just I was living on the same property, and I was hosting guests, and I was using it a lot for my own clients as well. And what I a lot of feedback that I got from a lot of the backpacking clients, because I was catering also to sort of the backpacking and not so high end market, was the lack of an authentic experience.
Wow.
And they even coming into into my home in Vic Falls, they felt like it wasn't an authentic Zimbabwean experience.
Okay.
So I think there's definitely a good, when people get to stay somewhere like Nkosana, where you're really in the thick of the community. I think it has a really warm sort of feel and a really nice sort of authentic feel that I think you'll do very well.
Thanks, Paul.
And I know a lot of people that are looking for that kind of thing. So if there's any way that I can push them towards your business, I definitely will.
I mean, definitely, I would appreciate that. And yeah, great sentiment that you're telling us there. Yeah, because it's like I jumped into the abyss with no string attached. And I'm thinking I'm just going to delve into the sea, and whatever happens out there, I'll take the risk. So I'm actually quite chuffed to hear that your clients were looking for something authentic, and yeah, quite chuffing.
So a couple of comments that have been dropped. Togoloshi Zim says, "What's up, gents? For those who don't know what a Togoloshi is, it's like a traditional Zimbabwean African goblin. So it's like a little goblin thing that some people are quite scared of." Valchikali says, "So if one was to go to college, what course would one apply for?" I think this is if you wanted to do guiding.
I think with guiding, I would advise you, I mean, now that, because I went through the vocational training right locally with a private tutor and all, I would advise you to go to the National Park School in Mushandike and get the thick and thin of and the gist of it, and learn environmental management studies, learn guiding as well. I think every experience you gain from the National Park tutors is for your own benefit or advantage, because you never know, you might end up in a wildlife park, and you need such experiences to run. I was in the US, and it was a safari park, kind of a theme park, but there was wild animals. Had you learned and trained in wildlife management, it would have come handy. So you can have plenty of options besides just being in Africa. There's a lot out there that you can do with wildlife management skills. So go straight to National Park Mushandike College in Maswingo and learn through, the thick and thin of wildlife management. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Great. So interesting that you worked for Disneyland or Walt Disney Company.
Yes.
I would be interested to hear what you have to say about that and what it was like, because legend has it and rumor has it that Disney employees are some of the most harshly treated employees on the planet.
Oh my God. Harshly.
Apparently you get worked to the bone for very little pay and very little they're quite tough on you at Disneyland. I don't know. That's just what I heard.
All right. Okay, quite interesting that people would say that. But, there's one thing that I would say, what working for Disney World experience is like. I would say is the best customer service related kind of job training you'll ever get in the world. I'm not going to say my words or sugarcoat them. I mean it. The stuff at Disney is up to perfection. I've worked for Disney World. I've worked for Overseas Adventure Travel. They expect excellence in your delivery, in what you say, in your knowledge base. So having worked for such big companies, I would say Disney World was not a mistake. And I would advise other young guides out there that are still under apprenticeship, that still want to groom themselves to be better guides, to go to that 1 year Disney training and have, industrial attachment with old Disney World. It's great for the reference, great international exposure. You become a better you. So yeah, in terms of money, I'm not going to comment because that's between you and the employer. You sign a contract based on understanding. If you're not happy, you don't go. If you're happy with what you're going to gain, but think of the long term. I didn't go for money at Walt Disney World. I wanted international training and attachment for my own growth. And growth I did, because when I came back, I didn't wait in line. I was employed right at my doorstep. So yeah, opportunities started coming left, right, and center.
There's common words that come out of your mouth that really resonate with me a lot, and it's even in the title of your company. One is excellence, because I try to commit myself to excellence wherever possible. I believe perfectionism is a road to disappointment and failure, but striving for excellence in everything is the road to success. So there's a very big difference between excellence and perfection, and I think we have the same sort of mindset when it comes to always striving for excellence wherever possible. And I like the fact that you've added excellence as a reminder into the name of your company. That's very cool. And the second word that I think is very important is growth. My journey in the last year has been a lot about pushing again and growth and growth and growth. I did hit a bit of a stagnant phase between sort of 2017 and 2018, where I hit a bit of a plateau and I wasn't growing anymore. And again in 2019, I pushed myself back into that growth mindset and to push myself back out of my comfort zone. And because like you said, you didn't go to Disney for money. You went there for growth. So you knew that you might not be getting the type of money that would be comfortable. You might not, but that was not your goal. Your goal was to go through whatever suffering and whatever hardship was necessary to create the growth that was necessary. And that from that growth, you would get fulfillment. And now you're reaping the benefits by starting your business and being successful as a guide. So all the more power to you, and congratulations for that. I think I respect that a lot.
I appreciate it as well.
A lot of people these days don't understand maybe I don't want to generalize. A lot of people do, but there are some people who don't really understand the correlation between discomfort and growth and fulfillment. And I always say, because I get asked a lot, are you happy? And that whole thing, as long as you're happy. And I think happiness is cheap. And I always my retort with are you happy is like, I don't care about being happy. Happiness is for kids. My goal is fulfillment, and fulfillment comes from growth, and growth comes from suffering and discomfort. So I like to create my own suffering and discomfort to create growth, to create fulfillment, and that is greater than any happiness could ever be. That's how I operate, and I think we're very similar in that sort of regard.
I agree with that, man. Pretty much. So yeah.
So I don't remember how we met. Where did that happen? I know the first time in person we met that day when we took the photo and I was holding your daughter, and that was.
You know what? This is quite interesting. I was actually checking you out on Facebook. You riding on your motorbike, and you're a writer. I write too, but I think for the last 2 years I've really relaxed on my writing. You check on my website, I do a lot of blogging, but I stopped because I had to market the business and take care of the gist of things. My brother Vusa, you should know Vusa. I'm a drone guy, and Vusa said to me, "There's this guy Paul Teasdale. You guys should be friends." I was like, "Why?" He says, "There's just so much synergy. You like the things that are similar. He likes adventure. He does drones." I was like, "Okay, Paul, I've seen him on Facebook, but who is this guy?" Because I also saw Arthur Evans was talking about you and Raw, and I was like, "Who is Paul Teasdale? A blower guy is, you know what I mean?" So yeah, I saw you on Facebook, but I didn't know you much. But my brother said to me, "Make friends with this guy. There's so much similars, between the two of you." I was like, okay. That's how I had to reach out, and yeah.
Thank you for mentioning Arthur, because actually I need to have Arthur as a guest.
Okay.
Arthur and I went to school together. He was my head boy.
All right. In CBC.
Yeah.
All right. I see.
We've
Cool
got
guy.
we've got a comment from Donna Tiltman. She says, "Wow, what an experience working at Disney World must have been. What an experience working at Disney World must have been, and wonderful that you were able to take learned skills to help you now. Wishing you all the best, Lisa. Paul, your positivity never ceases to amaze me. So inspirational. Oh, thank you for that kindness. I promise you, I'm not always positive. Everybody has off days, and I have some big ones sometimes too. But yeah, try and keep pushing forward, and try not to let those off days get you down. Another thing on that is I read it was probably a meme somewhere, but it really struck and resonated with me. It says, "Did you really have a bad day, or did you have a bad 10 minutes that you let ruin the whole day?"
Oops. That's a good meme, eh?
And if you're really honest with yourself and look at it, it's probably that when you've had a bad day, it's been 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. But then the fact that you've held on to that 10 minutes for the whole day has ruined your day. And I mean, with only a limited number of days in your life, what a waste of time, isn't it?
What a waste of time. You know what? Talking about that, let me just share a life experience that resonates with the words you just said. I remember when I came from the States in 2013, I didn't right away work for Overseas Adventure. I worked for an overland company. Let me withhold the name of the company for all that. But I remember the guys used to comment and say the type of guests or the nationality of guests that we're having here, they are hard to please. You know what I mean? And I remember saying to them, because I came with an attitude. I said, when I came from the States, I said, I'm coming back to Africa. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to work as if there's no tomorrow. I'm just going to be the best in what I do. And I say to these guys, because I wanted to have a different set of mindset. I looked at how long have you worked for the company? They've been there for 10 years. And I tried to see what they had, achieved through the 10 years. Was it good or was it motivating? It wasn't. But I noticed it was the attitude towards the work. Whether they were tired or they had to change work, when you get tired of something, try something else. I say to them, I don't think these people are hard to please. I think all it takes is nobody would come all the way from Europe or from America to come and give you a hard time. These guys are here to have a great time. Look at yourself, introspect, and you find that there is maybe negativity that you exude out, and they catch it, and they give you a hard time. I tell you, I had a ball, Paul. And honestly speaking, I'm not bragging, I'm telling you the truth. I bought my first house in 10 months that I started working for that company. I got raise after raise after raise because the bosses were happy with the work that I was putting out for them. The clients were writing great reviews because I didn't have an attitude. I was just happy and I wanted to do what I do the best I could. So, and long story short, I didn't work for a year for that company. I resigned and went over to the other side. But I look back and say it was my attitude. I just said I wanted, even if somebody was not happy, I wanted to turn them around and have a good time. Last one was a guy that said he doesn't eat baked beans. I told you that I've got a kitchen background. I sort my baked beans in a certain way. I don't just serve them like that in the morning. I did the Sisa special. This guy started eating beans. At the end of the trip, he says to me, you know what? I stopped eating baked beans when I was 8. If my mom hears this, she's going to call you.
That's amazing.
So in short, that's my little 2 cents on the subject.
But talking about, again, your progression of that promotion after promotion, I listened to a podcast called Impact Theory, and it's by a guy called Tom Bilyeu. And he is he's an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, and he's the founder of a $1 billion company called Quest Nutrition in the States. And he often gets the same question over and over again. It's like, how do I succeed? How do I get ahead? How do I get promotions? How do I do this? And his answer is the same every single time. And that answer is, be so good that they cannot ignore you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Be so good. No one will ignore you.
Yeah, be so good that they cannot ignore you. And that's the bottom line, really. if they're ignoring you, it's probably because you're just not good enough yet. And the good news is that you can always acquire more skills and work towards what you need to do, or the information that you need to have to get to that point is always available. You just got to put in the effort. So in the comments, we've got Prince Dube. Prince, if you're still on there and still watching, I would love to have you on and have a chat about your work that you've done and some of the work we've done together. Prince and I worked on a music video. I did some drone shots for him, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good day out, so we can chat about that at some stage. Jim Wall is a previous guest. He's saying he loves that idea of looking inward before blaming others, which is beautiful. Jim Wall is he was a guest a couple of episodes ago, I think episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. And then Blessed Marutaza, he's a fellow river boy.
Yeah, no, Bless.
Yeah, we both kayak and raft and stand-up paddle. He's currently in Oregon, I think, in the States. I don't know if you finished, but he was studying chemical engineering. So he went from raft guide to chemical engineer. I don't know if he's still in the studies or if he's qualified now, but yeah, he's come a long way as well from Vic Falls to the big wide world. So congratulations to Blessed as well. Maybe we should also have a chat at some stage. Right, we've got a little bit more time left. So again, I'm going to tell everybody, if you've got questions, please throw them in. If you've got anything to say, just chuck them in the comments. We'll address whatever you want to talk about. You've got a great guide here who knows a lot about animals, a lot about the bush. Yeah, I mean, if you've got any sort of questions that you want to ask in that field, go for it. You have an opportunity right now. So chuck those questions in. Thank you all for coming again. You know, it means a lot to me, and it makes this worthwhile. Although I would still do it even if you weren't there, because chatting to cool people is a lot of fun. Yeah, we do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. CAT, 6 p.m. BST. If you think that a different time would suit people better, please chuck it in the comments as well. And if there's enough of a vote for a different time of day, then I will consider it. But obviously, it would have to be nighttime, not daytime, because we've got to work. I'm introducing a new little fun little section here, which is a quickfire question round. And it was actually Graham Simmons, who was a previous guest. He was the first COVID case in Zimbabwe, the first official COVID case in Zimbabwe. He came up with this idea of doing a quickfire round, and the idea is I'm going to ask you some quickfire questions, random questions. Some of them are funny, some of them are stupid, and without thinking, you must just give us an answer, and then we'll discuss the answer of each one. But just off the top of your head, don't think. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first one, what's heavier, hippo or giraffe?
Hippo.
Are you sure?
Hippo.
Okay, great. Hippo. Who is your favorite conservationist?
My favorite conservationist is David Attenborough.
Good answer. I like David Attenborough. Number 3, a night in the bush or a night in the club?
Bush.
Yeah, easy.
Anytime. Nothing against the club, but bush anytime.
And what's your favorite bird?
I like breasted roller.
That's my favorite. That was my father's favorite bird as well.
Seriously. Yeah, the king's roller is my favorite bird.
Yeah. It's beautiful. If anyone doesn't know what that looks like, just Google it. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, number 5. This is a hard one.
Okay.
How many elephants to make a herd?
How many elephants make a herd?
Yeah.
It depends, Paul. I know there's a trick to that question. I can't really say. You can have a herd from 6 elephants.
Do you think 3 elephants is a herd?
No, it can be, yeah. I'm like, There's not really answer there. There's not really answer there.
Okay, and the last question I have from you: which side of the zebra has the most stripes?
I'm gonna be foolish. The right side.
I know the answer to
No,
this.
no. Huh?
I know the answer. There's a real answer to this.
I'll just take the right side, man.
Okay, the correct answer is the outside.
Start, man. Not the inside.
And
the hot seat now, eh?
Vusa Moyo was saying they be clubbing in the bush, these cats.
with our own little portable speakers, you know.
Listening to the crickets, dancing to the crickets at night.
Exactly. That's my brother Vusa there.
Oh yeah, I know him very well.
Nice.
I didn't realize you guys were brothers.
Yeah, I know the surnames always get people wrong, but if you've hung around us quite a while, you'll notice similarities. So people say.
But now I know. I can see that you look alike.
I said it, Paul. Just kidding. Yeah, you're right.
I can see, like, now it's ridiculously obvious that you're brothers.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the one that just took the totem. Our surname is Vusa Moyo. I'm a Moyo. This is just a totem. I like it so much.
Oh, I see. Jim Wall says, for many, I can actually put on the screen. For many of us folks in the USA who want to support animal and habitat conservation in Africa, it's hard to know where to start. Which organizations can we support and what can we do?
That's a good question. You know, there's quite a number of good organizations to support. You know, I can think of Greater Depth of the Bush. I can think close to Victoria Falls. I mean, Victoria Falls Wildlife Trust. I work hand in hand with them. I take a lot of people. I support them personally and with our business. It's a great organization to support. Vic Falls Wildlife Trust. They do a lot of DNA sampling. They find out if the meat that the people are selling is from poached animals. They do that all out of their own pocket. So definitely, I think they're a worthy cause, and supporting Vic Falls Wildlife Trust is for the greater growth of the Khaza region. Khaza being the Okavango, Zambezi areas, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia coming together. So that organization is doing a lot of work within the region.
Can you explain the Khaza region a little bit more in depth for people to understand how it works? I'm not, when you see me looking away, I'm just on my other laptop. I'm putting in the Victoria Wildlife Trust into the comments. So I am listening.
No. The Khaza region is pretty much, some people call it the Four Corners concept, which basically encompasses 4 countries that merge or come together in the what we call the Caprivi Strip area. So we've got Namibia, we've got Zambia, we've got Zimbabwe and Botswana. You find that the animals within this region or this block, we intershare them. The elephants from Chobe National Park can easily come to the Zambezi side or the Zimbabwean side or the Zambian side. And if we don't work together, you might find that one country can be helping conserve the species whilst others are consumers. But when we come together, work together, there is always a greater goal for even future generations. You find that the villages that surround the park area where these elephants go through what we call the animal corridors, they will not be consumed or killed or, for meat or whatever. People begin to benefit from socio-economical activities like tourism. People benefit from work. People can sell their wares to the tourists. We need the Khaza vision to work. So Khaza is a short abbreviation for Okavango Zambezi region. So it encompasses 4 countries.
Okay, excellent.
All thanks to the elephants without boundaries. They don't use passports. They've been meandering around.
From the last census that I was privy to, that I was actually at a presentation from Vic Falls Wildlife Trust in 2018, and Roger mentioned that the population density of elephants in the Khaza region was somewhere around 200,000 elephants.
200,000 elephants within the whole region.
No, 3.
300,000.
Yeah.
That's quite a number.
Yeah,
That's
and Victoria Falls population alone was 4,500, I think.
You know, that goes on to give you a picture that within this region we hold the largest African elephant population in the world, because there's nowhere else we can find African elephants besides Africa. So we larger than Kenya, we're larger than down south. So within this corridor, within this block, we have the largest elephant population, which means a lot, and definitely we need to protect them.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, one of the collared elephants, they tracked it that it had a 5,500 square kilometer range. It went from Victoria Falls through Botswana, through Namibia, back down through Botswana, back to Victoria Falls, and it would just walk in this big circle. And that was its migration route, a big one of the bulls that they collared. So, I mean, this thing goes from Zimbabwe to Namibia and back all the time.
So definitely, you see the concern that imagine if one country, I don't want to say Namibia, but if say Namibia doesn't buy into the conservation aspect, we'll definitely be protecting them, and they just go over there to be slaughtered. But where Namibia realizes the value of the wildlife, the same as Botswana and Zimbabwe does, as Zambia, we can correlate and work for a greater cause. So I'm into Kaza pretty much.
So Louis Barry Hugo says, "Hey Sisa, what's your most memorable encounter with an animal?"
Most memorable encounter. I think it was in the early days in the guiding industry in Hwange National Park, where we were driving down. It's like a little ravine, so animals were kind of like above us and we're below, and just one buffalo belted off and came towards us. You know, up to a point of like close encounter like that. We were in the vehicle, so that was safe, obviously. But yeah, it was above us. But when it got so close, it did a 180-degree turn.
Oh wow!
And it just went away. Trust me, that was like welcome to the safari industry, my young man. I won't forget that.
Yeah. For those who don't know, buffaloes are extremely dangerous, and they put the fear of God into most people, especially ones who know. I had an interesting buffalo encounter when I was a kid, but I haven't had one as an adult. When I was about 9 years old, I was walking back from dinner with my parents, and I walked into the broadside of a buffalo.
Man,
yeah, and it was just great.
Grazing.
Yeah, grazing. It was at Boomy Safari Lodge, Boomy Hills.
Oh man,
it was on the lawn. We were walking back from dinner back to our rooms, and I was obviously like a 9-year-old walking ahead, but it did nothing. I was lucky.
Was that when Paul Teasdale, the raw guy, came into being?
Maybe. I'm just glad it didn't shit on my head.
Says, man. Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's the only buffalo story I have. But yeah, as an adult, mostly hippos and elephants.
Yeah. You were a water guy, pretty much, eh?
Yeah, but a couple of close hippo encounters, and riding my motorbike, I nearly got killed by elephants because I crashed into the herd.
Your Facebook told me that. I remember. It says, man.
But I'll save that story for the writing. Louis Barry Hugo says, haha, mine was when kayaking and surprised a hippo from about 5 or 6 meters away. Scary. Yeah. Kayaks and hippos.
Yeah. Like hippos and kayaks.
Yeah. Kayaks are not big enough to be around hippos.
Yeah, I respect the gentle hippos. I would call them gentle because I want to be friends, maintain that friendship.
Yeah. Right.
We had quite a number of encounters because we used to go camp right in Boro. It's called Boro. So we'd just land at a point and then we would go, Mokoro, dugout canoeing right into camp. Sometimes it would take us like 3.5 to 4 hours to get to camp, a remote part of the Okavango Delta. And I remember sometime the hippos would just close the small channels and two big hippos are just saying, you're not going to cross here. And, maybe the other crew has already gone with the stuff and they've set up camp. And I've got the clients, we just have to continue. So you just had to chill there until something happens, or carry the Mokoros, go around. That was the best way because they were not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Right. Well, we're pushing the 1 hour mark, so I think we're going to call it a wrap from there. Daniel Ritchie just says respect for hippos. He also, being a boatman and fisherman, has had, I'm sure, enough respect and enough scary times around those things. So lastly, I just want to say thank you to Sisa for joining me and having this chat. It's been wonderful. And thank you to all who came and watched and got involved in the conversation. Like I said before, every Wednesday, same time, same place, different guest. Val Chikali just threw in another one. We were on a bushwalk in Kariba and I walked too close to an elephant. Our guide cocked his rifle and got me out of there on foot. Thank goodness for the guide. So that's an example to show you why it's necessary to have a guide in the African wilderness, someone who knows what they're doing and knows how to keep you safe. So yes, thank you very much again. And we're going to wrap it up there.
You're welcome, Paul. It's been wonderful.
And
Thank you so much.
Wishing you all the best. If you want to as well, Sisa, any of your links and stuff, if I've missed any, just chuck them into the comments on this video for everyone to see.
Okay. I'll definitely do that.
And thank you, everybody. Well, have a good night.
Have a good one. Thank you for coming.
Cheers.
Ciao, buddy.